Bangkok Tzu Chi volunteers arrived in Phuket to provide assistance for the families affected by the boating disaster. Chile Tzu Chi volunteers help a local NGO host fashion show for people with Down syndrome. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. On July 5th, a boat carrying Chinese tourists capsized off the Thai holiday island of Phuket. To comfort families of victims, Tzu Chi volunteers in Bangkok arrived in Phuket to provide ongoing assistance.
After the boating accident, the Tzu Chi Thailand chapter held an emergency meeting. Later, 4 volunteers immediately set off for Phuket. In a company of local customs officers, they arrived at the Phuket Tourist Assistance Coordinating Center to care for the victims' families.
Some families had 9 members on this trip, with 7 of them passing away in the accident. Some families even lost almost all members, with only 1 person left. We cannot describe their pain in words. The main purpose for us Tzu Chi volunteers is to come here and comfort them.
Feeling the pain of the victims' families, the volunteers want to do more to help.
After the victims' families confirm the bodies, they normally feel great pain and sadness, since they need to hold some rituals afterwards. We will help them coordinate with local staff members and government officials.
The boating disaster not only snatched away the lives of many unsuspecting victims, but also threw their families into despair. Volunteers promised to accompany these families until the end, ensuring their deceased family members can finally rest in peace.
In Taiwan, Typhoon Maria left with minimal destruction to Nantou Township. However, Miaoli's Nanzhuang mountainous area experienced the heaviest rainfall, so residents were evacuated ahead of time. To help assist the community, Tzu Chi volunteers set up the Disaster Prevention and Coordination Center.
Typhoon Maria has brought 165mm rainfall to Miaoli's Nanzhuang in a day, which has caused flooding in the river and partial collapsing of the mountain roads.
The road is clear now. We have removed some of the fallen rocks on it.
About 70-something residents from 3 remote tribes, including Luchang, Luhu, and Lushan, have been evacuated to the temporary shelter, along with 30-something members of the public.
We need to be evacuated from our village whenever the typhoon comes.
The 2nd floor of Nanzhuang Public Market building was turned into a temporary shelter during the typhoon days. Tzu Chi volunteers came to check on the residents before and after the typhoon.
Residents of Nanzhuang Township are evacuated here whenever typhoon approaches, so they are all prepared for it.
Whoever has a car, please take the car. If not, please stay. We will drive you home.
Typhoon Maria has left, hence the township office is arranging for the residents to return home. Everyone is cheerful to go home. Turning the camera to Nantou, Nangang River runs fast, but the water level is still within the safety range. The River Bureau has set up the construction site to build stronger foundation near the river later on, so the residents may feel safer. Volunteers have launched the Disaster Prevention and Coordination Center at Tzu Chi Nantou Liaison Office and have care packages ready. They've stayed alarmed until the typhoon has left.
This morning I called some people living in Zhongliao and Mingjian, and they are all safe. So we are very grateful that Typhoon Maria has not caused any damage here in Nantou.
The recycling volunteers are busy organizing the increased recycled goods due to the typhoon at the recycling station near the liaison office.
Some volunteers thought that it's best not to leave the recyclables in other people's houses, so we picked them up and decided to organize them today.
The fallen rocks on Cuilan section of the road in Ren'ai Township has also been removed. As of a collapsed household in the town, the government has stabilized it and planned for the reconstruction soon.
Anxi non-profit organization in Fujian, China, volunteered to take in children who live in poverty. To help them pursue education without worries, the organization provides a shelter for them and cares for their basic needs. Recently, Xiamen Tzu Chi volunteers brought new clothing to them, warming their hearts. These children are not orphans, but because they live in poverty, they have been housed in an abandoned school in the mountainous area of Guanqiao Township. Tzu Chi volunteers have come to care for them.
抱怨自己的命不好，
不会，我觉得我很好，家里有那么疼爱我的爸爸妈妈，这边又有那么疼爱我的社会上爱心人士，还有爱爸爱妈。
The children's understanding impressed the volunteers. This time, new clothing brought by the volunteers was chosen based upon the children's size. Therefore, the cartons contain their names, and the supplies they received were uniquely chosen for them. The volunteers also accompanied them back to the dormitory to try on the shoes and clothing.
I don't have a daughter, but I have a son. I treat her just like my own daughter. It's great.
When the children received love, some of them thought they would also pay love forward to other people when they grow older in the future.
The hot soup and meals in the kitchen were also specially cooked for the children.
They lived a difficult life, so that's why they came to this shelter. To us, it's worth doing our part to help them.
With the love and company of volunteers, the children finally showed happiness on their faces. One of the Mexico earthquake survivors, Brenda, was found unconscious under concrete slabs after her house had collapsed. Both her feet were inserted with plates and a total of 8 screws. Despite hardships, she is staying strong for her son. Thanks to Tzu Chi's financial aid, she was finally able to get all the medications that she needed.
That is how I am. Even when things go wrong, I do not lose my joyful spirit. It was both of my feet. In this part, I have plates and 8 screws. I woke up and I was with my son at the time. I gave him lunch and we went out to do some shopping. I saw a new shoe store in town. When the shaking started, I grabbed him immediately. I was very scared, so I screamed. I screamed so loud that I fainted. I fell to the ground and slabs of stones were piling on top of me. When they were going to discharge me, they discovered a mysterious bruise on me. I was with my brother and another uncle at the time. They began to try and find another room for me.
I lost my job because when I heard about my sister, the first thing I did was think about her and our family. This united us as a family because they will always come first. To me, work comes and goes, but family does not.
Well, I think that 2 people are here, 3 now with my baby boy. Nothing is more important than that, right?
When the doctors told me that my sister could lose her leg, I said, how is it possible? How is it possible that my 2 brothers with whom I lived with lost both of their legs and I am unharmed? Now her too. Sometimes we complain about anything, and seeing my sister succeeding is something amazing and incredible because she is so strong and moving forward. That really motivates me.
Why get depressed? On the contrary, if I put in the effort to get better, it's because I want to be back home.
Seeing my sister walking, it felt incredible. When she took her first steps, I think I was more excited than the doctors. I said, wow, she's walking. She has a second chance at life now.
A friend told me there is a foundation that is helping. I was very happy to hear that news. The moment that I received the cash card, I immediately rushed to get all the medication that I needed.
Thanks to the foundation, we were able to buy everyday products, water, and groceries.
The foundation has a lot of compassion. They came to help me without even knowing me. They are from another country and supported me without asking anything in return. Why shouldn't I do the same in return? When I get better physically, if anyone needs my help, I am going to do my best to support them as well.
The Footprints Foundation in Chile recently found a troupe for Down syndrome patients to give performances. However, they were not able to purchase audio equipment due to the lack of funds. With the assistance of Tzu Chi volunteers, the group was able to host the performance. Showing exotic styles in front of the camera. Madeline Stewart, who comes from Australia, is a model with Down syndrome and has been active on the international fashion stage since she was 18.
Do you like being a designer too?
Yeah.
What's it like?
Oh, cool.
It's cool?
Yeah.
Crushing stereotypes with her runway swagger, Mandarin Stewart has attracted many people's attention. Turning our camera to Chile, there is a group of patients with Down syndrome who also walk the runway. Their performance is fascinating, eliciting screams from the audience.
I feel very happy because my daughter has grown up. Thank you for your assistance and companionship.
The event was hosted by the Footprints Foundation. Teachers and parents also formed a small troupe.
We hope by organizing this activity, we can give children an opportunity to showcase their potential and expertise. They can also become role models for other organizations.
Local Tzu Chi volunteers assisted in the purchase of audio equipment to help them successfully give a performance. Through several practices and tour performances, they have touched countless people with their positive attitude toward life. Students from Tzu Chi Senior High School in Hualien traveled to South Korea to conduct academic exchanges with its sister school, So-dong-dap Elementary School. The school is the only teaching school in South Korea that offers filmmaking courses. Students overcame the language barrier by sharing their enthusiasm for learning. Let's take a look. As soon as the bus arrived, teachers and students of the So-dong-dap Elementary School gave the Tzu Chi team a warm welcome. The principal guided the team on the visits of the campus. This artwork, which took the school half a year to build, was designed to welcome the visits of Tzu Chi.
我们喝完的那个牛奶的那个纸盒嘛，回收一个可以做出来这两个。
이 작품은 우유가기.
This wall was made with 19,000 squares. After we recycled milk cartons, we then attach magnets to them. The patterns on the wall can also be changed at any time.
So-dong-dap Elementary School is the only teaching school in South Korea that features filmmaking. The school is small but beautiful, and the teaching content is diverse. In addition to showcasing the talents of school clubs, it also allows everyone to experience the operation of robots and virtual reality technology. In the meantime, they also work together to make lucky pockets and write down their expectations for peace in South and North Korea. Students from both countries attended classes together. Although their languages are different, they have learned a lot from each other. The So-dong-dap Elementary School is planning to go to Hualien to celebrate Tzu Chi Senior High School's anniversary. There are over 600,000 migrant workers in Taiwan. Most of them rarely go to doctors when they are ill due to language barriers and lack of health insurance. To guard the health of these migrant workers, Timor Northern Chapter hosts free clinics at Taipei Main Station every 2 months.
Dentists are busy treating patients in the dental clinic section set up by a few screens. Timor Northern Chapter hosts free clinics for migrant workers once every 2 months, and Dr. Mu Tianlong always finds time to serve.
Before coming into the clinic, patients first need to register and receive oral education. This will help calm their nervousness, which is not an easy task. They need our medical services, and we also need to provide them public health knowledge.
Yes, the free clinic has helped us significantly.
The 102-year-old Dr. Chen Kui-chun seizes every opportunity to serve patients in need. Upon completing the free clinic in Sanzhi in the morning, Dr. Chen then rushed to Taipei Main Station for this free clinic in the afternoon.
In Japan, we don't have this kind of free clinic system. Therefore, I'm glad that I can return to Taiwan and serve with my medical profession.
Dr. Chen Kui-chun has an energetic voice and sharp mind. It's indeed our pleasure to have him join the free clinic this time. The most precious thing in this experience for me is seeing his bright smile and learning from his cheerful spirit.
TIMA hosts free clinics for migrant workers at least 5 times a year at the Taipei Main Station. In addition to medical services, Tzu Chi volunteers hope that these migrant workers can feel the warmth just like home in Taiwan.
Jing Hongzhen, a Tzu Chi volunteer from Kaohsiung, had difficulty having the second baby with his wife. However, to many people's surprise, a pair of twins came into their life after he donated bone marrow successfully. The family was amazed by the blessings they had received by helping others in need.
Tzu Chi volunteers bring gifts with them to visit the newborn babies. The 2 babies in their arms are twins. The parents have longed for another child after having their eldest son, but it wasn't easy. Last year, the father, Jin Hongzhen, who's also a Tzu Chi volunteer, donated bone marrow to a matching patient with the family's support. Surprisingly, his wife became successfully pregnant 3 months later.
I was amazed by her pregnancy, so I thought perhaps it's due to my bone marrow donation that God has given me the baby I've always wanted in return.
Initially, they only wanted 1 baby. However, during the prenuptial visit at the wife's 4 months pregnant, they've learned that it's a twin.
We were extremely surprised because we had never thought that it would be twins.
He has saved 1 life, and God has given us 2 more lives.
The twin babies are blessings for the family. However, it's also a challenge to take care of them.
They are hungry at different times, so I need to breastfeed them from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the morning.
The centenarian great-grandmother is delighted to see the twin babies growing healthily.
My heart is full of joy seeing the twin babies. There's nothing more I could ask.
Not only is the great-grandmother a recycling volunteer, but the 3 generations of the family are also old Tzu Chi volunteers. Their selfless giving and great love to save others' lives have brought them blessings beyond their imagination.
According to statistics, Taiwanese throw away more than 60,000 metric tons of clothes a year, with 40% going to incinerators. In neighboring Hong Kong, many disposed clothes are exported to China. However, China has recently banned such imports, meaning used clothes must be sent to landfills, which leads to a new garbage crisis.
Hidden in this warehouse building in Shatian, Hong Kong is Redress, a non-profit organization founded in Hong Kong 10 years ago, which promotes sustainable fashion. Each year, they host an international sustainable fashion design competition to convey the concept of waste reduction amongst global designers.
We use this competition as a platform to educate them. Can we educate an influential fashion designers? Can we start from the source and change how fashion generates much pollution and waste?
Apart from the competition, the group occasionally hosts recycling events for old clothes. They have received 4.5 tons of clothes in Hong Kong in just 1 week.
For the clothes that we receive, we need to do another classification as some are better, especially women's clothes. This means we even do a pop-up shop. We have already done this for 5 or 6 years. We also work with HK Rita to promote more recycling, even developing a reusable yarn.
Some of these recycled clothes are provided to the Hong Kong Textile and Apparel Research and Development Center for R&D experiments.
If it is a yarn with cotton and polyester, it turns out like this.
This is the finished product developed by the center. They use a thermochemical process to separate cotton from polyester fibers from clothing made from blended materials.
This silicone oil can reach a temperature higher than that of water, which is only typically 100 degrees.
Simply put, using a thermochemical process can help decompose old clothes. The final goal is to respin the yarn, which can be used in making clothes once again to continue the sustainable cycle. Separated polyester fiber can be spun into yarn and used again, and cotton can be used as a raw material in blended clothing.
Effectively separating polyester fiber and cotton means that the polyester fiber doesn't lose its physical properties, and its molecular weight does not change and can be introduced into the production of clothing.
This research has been completed, including cost analysis, and given to the industry for reference. In addition to reducing energy consumption by 70%, the technology also benefits from a change in thinking, where people once thought that costs were the only way to judge environmentally friendly practices.
Looking at it from a broader perspective, from the original crude oil to polyester fiber to how we do it from recycled materials, the cost is much cheaper.
These are photos provided by a significant textile factory in Hong Kong. After the physical treatment, such as crushing this old material and making it into new thread and adding 30 to 40% original yarn, it is eventually turned into regenerated yarn. They have been able to practically apply this to their production line, the technology developed by HK Rita, with implementation expected to begin in September, with the rest of the industry to follow.
The main problem we face now is that supply cannot meet demand. At the moment, we expect to increase monthly production by 100 metric tons. We haven't officially put this into production yet, and many large brands already want to cooperate with us.
The problem of garbage generated from discarded textile waste has become the focus of global attention. Many international clothing brands have also begun to seek solutions to this problem.
The first issue has to do with materials such as these fibers. These fibers can biodegrade through the application of chemicals. A report should be published about this in the second half of the year.
However, data shows that consumers still pay insufficient attention when it comes to the recycling rate of clothing. In Taiwan, an average of about 70,000 tons of old clothes are received each year, of which only 5% go to the second-hand clothing market. 40% go into incinerators and 55% are sent to developing countries. In terms of recycling rates, China annually achieves 12% recycling, and the U.S. and Europe is 26%, and Hong Kong is only 4.2%.
Hong Kong is a region with a high cost of living and a fast-paced lifestyle. According to one investigation, about 80% of people have never bought second-hand clothes before.
Technology can solve some of our problems, such as clothes which have been abandoned and pose a garbage crisis to the earth. Without new technologies, we may never catch up with this infinite cycle of consumption and later discard what we don't want anymore.
Youth volunteers from Jinsi Books and Cafe rehearsed the sutra adaptation performance at the Luzhou Jinsi Hall. We will leave you with these images. Thanks for watching.